Hi everyone. Whoa. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you. Thanks, Katya. Interesting. Anybody? Isaac, I really enjoyed that. I think from a fitness or a wellness point of view, we need to be honest with ourselves, and it actually starts with us. That's the first thing we need to get over, and it's not anybody else's responsibility, it's our responsibility. Anybody flown in an airplane the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 week? This year, obviously everybody's probably had an airplane flight. What happens in that security briefing or the safety briefing when they talk about if there's a loss of oxygen or pressure in the cabin? The oxygen mask falls from the panel above you. But then what does it say? But whose mask? Your mask first, correct? Before helping with anybody else. I mean, that's how simple it really is. From a wellness perspective, we really need to take charge of our own wellness. So Life by Jonty, and Joe's keeps saying, Jonty, you're allowed to mention your own name. It's not been arrogant. You might have called the business after yourself, but get over it. It is something where obviously there's an affinity with cricket in India. I think there's been a real bonding with myself in this incredible country, and a lot of people in their 30s and 40s either were young kids when I was still playing cricket and saw me flying around the field, or their fathers showed them all this video. So Life by Jonty basically is we as a family have taken responsibility for our wellness. My wife is a yoga teacher, she's an architect, and understands that it is all connected. So whether it's sleep, it's nutrition, it's exercise, and for us exercise is walking, surfing, jumping on a trampoline. I tried my first backward somersault at the age of 55 the other day. Managed to land it on the trampoline, fortunately, not on the rest of the garden, to impress my children. But that's the reason why I want to stay healthy, is that I want mobility for as long as possible. So it's no good just living longer. And the key here, in a corporate environment, it's too easy for me to say, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I need to work hard for my family. So I will sacrifice my own health and my own well-being because I want my family to benefit. But it's such a short-sighted vision, because if you don't have your health, you are going to come crumbling down. And it's interesting, at Life by Jonty, for us, what we have is also an understanding. It's a Swedish-backed setup and comes from my 2.5 years in Sweden, but it's very Indian-centric, because as I said earlier, you cannot compare what happens in Sweden to the reality of life on the ground in India, which is exciting, let's face it. And I think we are on the cusp of some incredible years in India going forward from a growth perspective. But with that then comes the kind of lifestyle that's just going to keep degrading our health and our well-being. So Life by Jonty is a platform. We utilize tech. We also understand that within, not comparing Sweden to India, that even within India, there are so many Indias. So we customize every single intervention to our clients. So we have customers who are an engineering firm, and their staff consists of someone who spends the entire day bent over with a welding gun, welding all day, to other people in logistics, other people in the sort of the schematic side of things. So they're putting together packaging material, or packaging equipment. So we have to cater for everybody. And we have tech clients who have staff in front of screens all day and do have all the gadgets and the wearables and the tech that's available to be able to track what they're doing. So we don't just arrive and say, okay, this is what we've designed. We think you must employ this in your corporate environment because we know it's going to assist you. We work with the organization. We work with the champions because we want to also promote the fact that if you are someone who's making a difference to yourself, you can impact your community, whether that community is at home, because not many kitchens in India are just a single family kitchen. We know that it's shared by 2 or 3 generations at times. So we know that the impact that we have here in India can go beyond just the people who've signed up to our Life by Jonty program. And basically what it does is that at the start of the Life by Jonty, you take a very simple health check, and green, amber, red. At the end of the health check, if you're in the green with your answers, that's fine, you're looking good. Anything in the amber, we obviously want to get you up into the green zone, so we have then content on our platform that you get sent towards to ensure that you get that amber warning back up to the green zone. The red zones are an area of concern, and whether it's injuries, whether it's stress, whether it's nutrition, we will then again have content that will be specifically for that environment. And again, Ayurvedic doctors, nutritionists from India, dancing doctors, the use of dance, cognitive health and wellness, we know, playing sports where coordination as well as physical activity, dancing, having to remember steps. It is so good, not just for emotional health, but also cognitive health too. So we are an Indian-based company. I mean, Prime Minister Modi, I think in 2014, spoke strongly about Make in India, and we've seen that huge transition. My wife and I listened very carefully. India was born in India in 2015, and Nathan was born in India 2017. So we make in India. We really believe in it. We totally invested in that. But it's a case of, again, saying and working closely with the client that we have, installing in them an opportunity to sit at their desk and do breath work. So again, a part of what we do, sit at their desk and do stretching, because all of that combined is going to make for a healthier and happier person. So where the Swedish system came in, and what they do really well is that they put together a team challenge. So in the 21 or 28 days, because coming from cricket, I know, game of habit, you can't change it overnight. The same thing with healthy habits. They don't happen overnight. So keeping it simple, we're looking for small improvements that can take place on a daily basis. Or if you miss your exercise or your team event today and the next day, after 3 days, you can actually just spend 5 minutes and you can catch up. Whereas too often if it's a training, so it's not a training app. It's not saying go to the gym and work out for 45 minutes. Because if you miss that on day 1 and day 2, you know you can never catch it up. So what we try and give is a platform where people can make healthier choices on a daily basis for their own benefit. And I think that's such a difficult concept in India. People are always making massive sacrifices for their family. And it needs to start with you. And that is what we're trying to push. I mean, the reason why we do the health check is that we know if it's not trackable, it's very difficult to maintain and be consistent in your output. So utilizing data is something very important for us, because we need to be able to show people the stuff that you're doing today. It might seem insignificant, but at the end of a month or at the end of 28 days, it's made a massive contribution to your overall wellness. Again, not just physical, but mental and entire holistic approach to being a better person at the end of it. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. I know there's so much happening in India. I mean, I am a bit smarter than I look, and I know this is the place to be, not just in Bangalore. I mean, Goa is not a bad spot either. But I know this environment, it's really supportive of startups. And just thank you all for giving me this opportunity today. Thank you, Katya, and thank you, Jose. Great to be here again. Thanks, everyone.